Okay, so in this second video, I'm going to try and make this look a little bit more like a pear and less like, I did an odd shape here. So one of the first things I'm going to do is add a leaf. So I'm going to select the rectangle tool here in the toolbox, and I'm going to draw a small rectangle above here, okay, above the sticker. And remember to zoom into it. I can go view, zoom in. Okay. And now I'm going to switch over to my direct selection tool. That's the right hand arrow because I'm going to be working on the path a little bit. And I'm going to work on this corner first. So I'm going to click on the upper right hand anchor point. Okay, so I clicked on the upper right hand anchor point. Hold on. And then on this little circle thing, I'm going to now drag that in. That's one side of the leaf. Okay. And now I'm going to click on this lower left-hand anchor point, and then this circle appears. And I kind of like making it a little misshapen because that's what a leaf looks like. So I'm going to do that. And now I've made a leaf. So I just need to fill it, rotate it, do some other things to transform it. So I'm going to go back to my selection tool here. So now it's all selected. And I'm going to take my cursor and go just outside one of these anchor points. And I'm going to kind of change it a little bit. Then I'm also going to come over here to my properties and click on my fill box and choose a green color. Okay. I still have my selection, so I'm going to click over here to deselect it. And then I'm going to select it again. And I'm going to do edit, copy, and then I'm going to do edit and paste. So now I have two here. So I'm going to take this one over and I want to just flip this horizontally. And so the way I'm going to do it is look over here in this properties box under the XYWH. There is this thing here that's going to flip it horizontally. I'm going to click it and then it flipped that way. Okay. And so now I have two leaves. And I am going to drag them down on top of this. Okay, so I'm going to put this leaf here. I'm going to probably adjust this later, but right now, here's those leaves. Okay. And I'm going to select one of the leaves. I don't have to do all of them, but I'm going to select this leaf here on the right. And I want to change the size. And so we've been trying different ways to do it. I'm going to show you a third way. We've had a lot of different ways. I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to do Object, Transform, Scale. And I'm going to change the uniform size to 70% and click OK. And then, so one of them is smaller than the other. If I think that this one would look better, it kind of looks nice to have them in different sizes. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. So now I'm going to apply a gradient here. And I'm first going to apply a gradient to the pear. So I'm going to select the pear. Okay. And if it's not centered, remember that you can do view, zoom in. Okay, so there it is. In the properties panel, I'm going to select the fill box. Okay. And then down here where it says swatch titles, under here, there is a yellow to red gradient. I'm going to select it. Okay, that's what it looks like now, kind of cool. Right now you can see it goes from yellow to red. What if I want it to go gradient from top to bottom? I want to show you a way to do that. I come over here where it says Edit Gradient in my Properties box, and I click Edit Gradient. And here I can change the direction of the gradient by going here and just drawing down. Okay. So that's one thing I can do. Okay. That's kind of cool. So remember, you're clicking this edit gradient box. So I went from yellow to red here. And so that's, one way to do that. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to do Control minus. And I'd also like to do a gradient in my circle. So with my selection tool, I'm going to click on the circle. In the properties panel, I'm going to click on the fill. And I'm going to come down here and do the blue to white gradient. I'm going to click on that. And then I want to do the same thing where I want it to be from bottom to top. I want it to be blue here and lighter blue on the top. So I'm going to click on Edit Gradient until I see that line. And then I'm going to come down here. Not seeing my cursor. Okay, it's down here. And then I'm going to go like that. Okay, so there I am. Okay. So now I want to that's kind of what my colors are going to look like. I'm going to click over here. That's what I've got. And now I am going to create a stem. So I'm going to create a stem using my curvature tool. So I'm going to, with my selection tool, click on one of these leaves because I want my stem to come between these. And I'm going to go to view, and then I'm going to go zoom in so that I'm going to get real close here. So I want to deselect that. So I'm going to select, deselect. Okay. And I'm going to select my curvature tool. It's under the drawing tools. Here's the curvature tool. I'm going to click on it. And then before I start drawing, I'm going to remove the fill and change the stroke color. So I'm going to click on over here in the properties. I'm going to click on fill, and I'm going to say that I'm going to do none in my fill. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the stroke color box. Okay. I need to click on the stroke, and I'm going to make the stroke the same green swatch as the leaves. Okay. So now I'm going to move the pointer above the circle. This is where I'm going to be putting my my stem. And to make a curved shape like a C, I'm going to click and release to stop drawing. So one of the things I'm going to do is every time I click, I'm going to create an anchor point. So what I'm going to do here is click here, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to come up here, and then I'm going to come up here. Okay. And that created a final thing. Okay. And then I'm going to press the escape key to stop drawing. Okay. So this is what I've got here. And I right now just kind of have this C here. So I'd like to apply a brush to this. Right now, this doesn't look great. So I'm going to click on the selection tool in the toolbox. And then I'm going to, this is selected. So I'm going to go here to Window and Brush Libraries. I have to kind of use this circle at the very bottom to get to my brush libraries. I'm going to go to Brush Libraries, Decorative, Elegant Curl and Floral Brush Set. Okay. And I'm actually going to look at, it's really far down here. I'm going to look for kind of a teardrop shape. Yep, there it is. And I want the one that says drop down. So I'm going to click on drop down, and look at this cool thing that just happened here. Okay. So I'm going to close this box by closing the X. Okay. And this is the shape I've got right now. It kind of looks like an apostrophe, but I don't want it this thick. This doesn't really look like this. So I'm going to change the stroke weight to 0.5. I could go as low as 0.25. Maybe I'm going to go to 0.5. Okay. And then I'm going to rotate this stem a little bit. And now I'm going to drag this down here. And this is probably a good time for me to make a lot of adjustments here and get these looking the way I want these leaves to look. Okay, so that's what this looks like right now. Okay, so now we're going to work with type. So I'm going to click view, zoom out. Okay, and I want to select the type tool right down here. Okay, and then I'm going to click just here in the white. Okay, and lorem ipsum, that's the Latin words that we're going to use there. That's just kind of the placeholder text. And this is what I'm going to write in all caps. Fuel your summer. Enjoy your vitamins. Okay, that's what it says. And then in this contextual, since I started doing that, this box showed up. So I'm going to choose 36 points. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I got to do the selection tool. So now this is all selected. So I clicked the selection tool, and now I'm going to go down to 36 points. Okay. So this is what I've got. Now I want to group some objects so that they function as a single thing. So I want all of my pear parts to not be separate, but be to one object. So what I'm going to do is with my selection tool, I am going to drag across everything. Okay, so I'm going to drag across everything. Okay, so now these are all together. But I don't want the circle to be part of this. So I'm going to hold the shift down and I'm going to click on the circle. Okay. So now the only part that is selected is this stem, leaves, and pear. Okay. And then did you see, well, I'm wondering if this showed up. Hold on a second. Okay. So now this is all selected. So I'm going to go to object and I'm going to do group. So now this is all going to be able to be moved as a whole. So here I am. I did that just to make my life a little bit easier. Okay, cool. I did it. So now I've got my pear where I need it to be. And with the selection tool, I'm now going to make a path for my text. So with my selection tool, I'm going to click on my sticker circle. And now I am going to make it smaller, a smaller circle inside. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform, and then I'm going to do Scale. And I'm going to change this to 71%, and then I'm going to do Copy. Okay, so there is a circle within here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I need to get into my text here. So this smaller circle is highlighted, right? And so I am going to select the type tool. Okay. And then I'm going to click in this text. And then I'm going to select all of the text by choosing Select All. Okay. And then I'm going to choose Edit, Copy. Then I'm going to press and hold in my toolbar until I go down to the Type on a Path tool. And then over here, I need to go on my copy circle, my inner circle. and then it went in. I clicked on it and okay, it didn't copy this. So I'm just going to have to, normally I get the text that way. I don't know what I did exactly. All right, so I've done that. So now I am going to, oh, I know. I should have just edited and pasted the text because I had already copied the text. But there you go. Now I'm going to change the color and size of the text. So I'm going to click on the select tool, and I'm going to click on the fill color box and apply white. Okay, cool. In this taskbar here, I'm going to select font size 44. Okay. And then press enter. I'm going to select my type on a path tool and come right here with Fuel Your Summer. I'm going to click there. And then I'm going to make that go around. Okay. And I moved it around the path. So I am getting really close to being done here. I'd like some effects around my circle. So I'm going to select the selection button and I'm going to select the sticker circle. Okay. I'm going to choose Effect, Stylize, Drop Shadow. And then I've got some little different things I'm going to do. For opacity, I'm going to put it on 36%. For X offset, I'm going to do 0.07. For Y offset, I'm going to do 0.06. And for blur, I'm going to do 0.03. Okay, so this is what this looks like now. And I'm going to click OK. So it just kind of adds a little bit to it. The pear is now just a little bit too big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. And I'm going to move it so that it's right in the center. And now I'm just going to finish mine. There's a few things that I'm going to do. I'm really close. I can do Control S to save it. And then I'm going to view and I want to see my artboard. And I'm going to, with my selection tool, I'm going to drag some clouds over. Now, you know what? The cloud over here, you can see better. It's on top. This is behind everything else that I made. And that's because the sticker was created after the cloud. So if I want this to come forward, I have to go to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Okay. Now I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to put that there. And um, let me see. It disappeared, so I need to find it. Okay. So I'm going to put that right over there. And you know what? For this one, I want it above the circle, but I want it behind the pear. So I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to arrange and I'm going to bring it to the front. And then I'm going to arrange it and I'm going to send it not all the way backwards to back, but I'm going to send it one step backwards. Let me do that again. Arrange, send backwards. Okay. Arrange, send backwards. Okay, that time it went under. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And then I'm also going to put these small dots here. Object, arrange, bring to front. And this one I'm going to put over here. And I'm going to do object, arrange, bring to front. Okay. So this is what my final one looks like. If I like the way it looks, I'm going to save it. And I'm going to export it as Wilkerson K underscore Pear sticker. And I'm going to do it as a PNG. It's still in my same area, export it. And this is what I'm going to be sending and submitting online.